Hi, James. Thanks for all you do. You've literally helped me make millions in gains. I'm 50 with 3 kids and just received a $2.5 million inheritance. Well, that's nice. Congratulations. And let's get back to the story. I have 700K now in Roth IRA, 600K in traditional IRA, which is great because it means you can trade and rotate tax-free, which is beautiful. The wife has 500K in an IRA, 300K in taxable brokerage, 800K in crypto, 3,000 MSTR, 1,000 Tesla. That's 3 times the retire on bag, by the way. Good job. MicroStrategy, also multiples of the retire on bag. 1,000 coin. Watch Coinbase, maybe take some profit at 300, 350. 5 Bitcoin. Woohoo. We just saw what 3 Bitcoin can do. And 2,000 Sol. Plenty of home equity and income of 300,000 a year. Okay. Wow. You are also nicely set. Also, huge believer in Tesla and Bitcoin. What are some options to allocate the $2.5 million for long-term growth while managing risk? Definitely up to play hard with 25 to 40% of the $2.5 million. What WWJD? What would James do? I think I could be wrong on that. Let's this again. I'm just a guy on the internet. But if I was in your situation, and my situation is quite different, but I do a couple of things because, and again, I'll stress again, all assets go to zero. Remember, spread them around. But even if you are in very disruptive assets, if you have 4 assets and 1 goes to zero, the gains in the other 3 will far, far surpass holding on to average assets. That's a very important thing of balancing risk and reward too. Now, my theoretical allocations, drop myself to the top left. You are now in a position to go out on the risk curve. Sounds like you want to play a little bit. So I'm going to take that $2.5 million. I'm going to do a couple of little things with it. Again, what I would do. This is not what you should do. Just giving you some concepts that you can tailor to your own risk tolerance. I'd start looking at some aggressive growth leaps on Tesla, for example. Allocate 875K. What leaps can do for your bags is unbelievable. All right. You have to, though, remember, buy a little bit in the money and you got to go out to 2027, like December 2027. I've got a lot of those positions and I was able to get them at very low prices. But also remember, wait for the price volatility of Tesla to go down before you buy the leaps or a big dip in the market. Hopefully we have one tomorrow. That'd be nice. Also, we're mentioning Strife again. You have a very good position, you got good salary coming in, but don't bank on that salary. But maybe consider, again, so you can keep all your money in the market through 2029, 2030, which is going to be so important those years, not to spend. The opportunity cost of spending today is very high. If you can generate or allocate 625K of that $2.5 million to Strife, and then you got your income to cover your bills. Woohoo. And then you don't need to touch any of your investments. All your salary can go into investing, and you have all your tax-free accounts where you can do rotations, etc. And then your stable core, build a nice, continue to add to your bag of NVIDIA, Tesla, Bitcoin, Solana, MicroStrategy, but watch the cycles and the seasonality. Remember, watch all the videos that we share, the TA micro lessons multiple times a week. There are times to buy things, and there are times to sell things, and there are times to stack things. That is probably the most important thing that you can adhere to as well. And again, mix in a little Strife. There's Jesse again back, pumping his Strife, which I believe, if it works, it's amazing. And in terms of the structure, again, example allocation, 300 grand into Tesla Leaps, for example, buy in the money call options expiring, say, December 2027. Target the 300 to 320 strikes. We know this thing's going to $1,000 or $2,000 in that time frame, probably, possibly. Even if it just goes to 650 or 1,000, you're still going to make a lot of money. Don't spend a lot on premium. If you get to a stage where the premium for the leap is almost the same as 50% of the actual price of the stock, don't do it. Just buy the stock on margin instead. Make sure your account is armed for margin. Bitcoin, I grab another 4 of those puppies and then DCA into 5 more at 66K a month over the next 6 months. Don't go full bang. This is where you DCA, you time your buys, you time your rotations, and that can save you so much more money. I'd thrown at 100K at Solana, not pumping Solana, but it's the leading crypto by far. It does everything on the blockchain. And that's just a reality. Buy 500 more of those, about $200 a pop. And then DCA 16,700 a month for the next 6 months. And remember, if the price goes up, sometimes you got to wait. And then that becomes 32K. Look at DCA on steroids. It's well worth the $19 to save you a fortune and time your buys. And MicroStrategy, 75K, maybe get another 200 of those. Michael Saylor, in his post, I shared at 5 a.m. this morning on Patreon. Check it out. He's inviting people to short his stock. He knows what's coming. He knows what he has. And it's exciting. And don't fade the power rotation. That's killer too. I hope that helps. So I normally don't do this many investing questions, but everybody had these types of questions. So sorry about that. But that's what I would do. And remember one thing I have to stress too. If you have your bags and you have your wealth set, then you can take on more risk. And kind of like, I don't want to say go to the casino, but go more leveraged, okay? Go leaps, go SLs, and then you can afford to take on that risk. And again, we're going into a very disruptive time.